Some people are born to do one thing. Ferruccio Lamborghini was not one of those people. He was born to do many things, and honestly all of them brilliantly. After the Second World War, Italy was in bits. It needed rebuilding, it needed food. And to grow food you need tractors. Ferruccio, being a clever sort of chap, saw this. He started a business, Lamborghini Trattori. He took old military vehicle parts and with a bit of Italian genius turned them into some of the best tractors in the world. They were powerful, they were reliable. They made him a very, very rich man, a man with enough money to buy whatever he wanted. And what he wanted were fast cars, lots of them. He had a particular fondness for Ferraris. He owned several, in fact. But this wasn't just a story about a rich man enjoying his toys. Ferruccio was a brilliant mechanic. He understood how things worked. He knew what made an engine sing and what made it cough and splutter. He drove his cars hard, as they should be driven, and in doing so he started to notice things. Little problems, imperfections, things that a man who built world-class tractors simply could not ignore. The clutches, for instance, were a bit rubbish. They just weren't strong enough. This bothered him a lot. Imagine buying the most expensive, most beautiful suit in the world, only to find the buttons fall off every time you wear it. That's what it was like for him. He was paying a king's ransom for what was supposed to be the pinnacle of engineering, yet it had a flaw he could fix with parts from his own tractor factory. His cars were spending more time in the workshop than on the beautiful Italian roads they were built for. For a man like Ferruccio, a man obsessed with quality and power, this was more than just an annoyance. It was an insult. So he tinkered. He was Ferruccio Lamborghini, after all. He took one of his Ferraris, a 250 GT, to his tractor factory. He and his engineers looked at the clutch. They saw it was weak. So they fitted a stronger, more robust clutch, a Borg and Beck unit, one similar to what he used in his tractors. And guess what? It worked. Perfectly. The problem was solved, but this little victory planted a very big, very dangerous seed in his mind. If he could improve a Ferrari, what else could he do? This wasn't just about fixing a car anymore. It was about proving a point, a very loud, very fast point. Now, with a head full of ideas and a fixed Ferrari, Ferruccio decided he needed to have a word. He arranged a meeting with the only man who could possibly matter in this situation. The commander, the myth, Enzo Ferrari himself. You have to imagine the scene. One incredibly successful, incredibly proud Italian industrialist marching into the office of another incredibly successful, incredibly proud Italian industrialist. This wasn't going to be a quiet chat over a nice cup of tea. This was a clash of titans, a meeting that would, quite literally, change the world of fast cars forever. This was biblical. Ferruccio, calm and logical, explained the problem. He told Enzo that his beautiful cars were fantastic, but the clutches were, to put it mildly, not up to the job. He even offered his solution, suggesting that Ferrari could use the better parts he had sourced. He thought Enzo might listen. He thought wrong. Enzo Ferrari was not a man who took criticism well, especially not from a man who built tractors. The very idea was preposterous, an insult of the highest order. Enzo Ferrari, in his infinite arrogance, essentially told Ferruccio to get lost. The problem is not with the car, but with the driver. Let me make cars, you stick to making tractors. That was it. The spark that lit the fuse. You do not say that to a man like Ferruccio Lamborghini, you just don't. It was a declaration of war. A war to be fought not with guns, but with V12 engines. Ferruccio walked out of that office a changed man. He wasn't just annoyed anymore, he was on a mission fueled by pure, unadulterated spite. He was going to show Enzo, he was going to show the world. He decided right then and there that he would build his own car. A Grand Tourer, but not just any car. It would be better than a Ferrari. It would be faster, more reliable, and more comfortable. It would have the perfect clutch. He had the money, he had the engineering skill. And now, thanks to Enzo, he had the motivation. The most powerful motivation of all, revenge. Ferruccio Lamborghini didn't mess about. He was a man of action. He immediately set about building his dream. First, he needed a factory, so he built one. A huge, state-of-the-art facility in Sant'Agata Bolognese. not far from Ferrari's home in Maranello. This was deliberate. He wanted Enzo to see it, to hear it. He wanted his rival to know that a storm was coming. Then, he needed a team. He didn't hire just anyone. He poached the best. He got Giotto Bizzarini, a genius engineer who'd just left Ferrari after an argument. The irony is delicious. Bizzarini was tasked with one job: build an engine. But not just any engine. Ferruccio wanted a V12, the best V12 the world had ever seen. He wanted it to be a pure racing engine, but for the road. He offered a bonus for every horsepower over Ferrari's V12. This was not about making a sensible car. This was about making a statement, a loud, powerful 12-cylinder statement. The result was a masterpiece, a 3.5-litre V12, a work of art. It was the heart of the beast. With the engine sorted, the rest came together at lightning speed. Ferruccio wanted a Grand Tourer, a GT car, something you could cross a continent in at immense speed without your spine turning to dust. The car was called the 350 GTV. It was shown to the world in 1963. It was stunning. It was low, sleek, looked like nothing else on the road, a declaration of intent. And it was just the beginning. The production version, the 350 GT, followed soon after, more refined, more beautiful, crucially for sale. It had that magnificent V12 engine. It had a luxurious interior. It had fully independent suspension. And yes, it had a clutch that actually worked. It was, by all accounts, a triumph. Ferruccio had done it. He had built a car that could stand shoulder to shoulder with a Ferrari. Many said it was better. The bull had been born, and it was ready to charge. Enzo must have been absolutely furious, and that, you feel, was exactly the point. After the 350 GT, Lamborghini could have stopped. The point was made, but Ferruccio was just getting started. The company was about to do something that would change the very definition of a supercar. In 1966, they unleashed the Miura. This wasn't just a car, it was a revolution. It was the world's first mid-engine supercar. Racing cars kept engines in the middle for balance. Lamborghini put one in a road car. It was beautiful, brilliant madness. It looked like a spaceship, the most beautiful car ever made. Then came the 1970s, a car that looked like a 10-year-old's wild sketch. The Countach, sharp angles and wild wings, scissor doors that went up instead of out, completely outrageous, no rear visibility, a pig to drive in town, none of that mattered. The ultimate poster car. Every boy wanted a Countach on his bedroom wall, pure theatre, pure Lamborghini. For decades, the Countach was king. It defined a generation's idea of supercar. Then came the Diablo, then the Murcielago. Each one more powerful and more insane. The Countach spirit lived on. In 2011, Lamborghini did it again. They launched the Aventador, a technological monster. Carbon fiber monocoque chassis, a brand new V12, nearly 700 horsepower, looks that could scare a fighter jet. The Countach for the 21st century, brutal, unapologetically loud, mind-blowingly fast. The Miura, the Countach, the Aventador, more than machines, cultural icons. Miura built the blueprint. Countach perfected the image. Aventador roared it into the modern age. Each one shocked the system, moved the goalposts, not just fast. Designed to be an event. To drive one is to be the star of your own action movie. This is the Lamborghini way. Not about A to B, about making massive noise and drama while doing it. So, how did a tractor manufacturer become a legend? It's simple, really. It all comes down to that one single argument. That moment when Enzo Ferrari told Ferruccio Lamborghini to stick to what he knew. That insult was the single greatest thing that ever happened to the world of supercars. It created a rivalry that has given us some of the most exciting, most beautiful, most ridiculous cars ever made. It gave birth to a company that wasn't afraid to be different. Visual. A modern Aventador leading a Miura and a Countach down a winding coastal road. A company that chose a raging bull as its logo and then built cars that lived up to that promise. Lamborghini's philosophy was always different from Ferrari's. Ferrari built road cars to fund their racing. They were serious, focused, and a bit snooty. Lamborghini, on the other hand, never cared much for racing. They built road cars for the sheer hell of it. They built them to be outrageous, to be the center of attention. A Lamborghini is not a precision tool like a scalpel. It's a sledgehammer. It's designed to cause a scene. It's for the person who wants to arrive somewhere and have everyone stop and stare. It's a statement of intent written in fire and thunder. Over the years, the company has had its ups and downs. Financial troubles, multiple owners, times when it seemed the bull might be tamed for good, but the spirit of Ferruccio's vision always survived. Now, under the ownership of Audi, Lamborghini is stronger than ever. They have the financial muscle and engineering might of the Volkswagen Group behind them. But they have managed to keep their wild Italian soul. They still build cars that are completely, wonderfully bonkers. They still make your heart beat faster just by looking at them. And that is the legacy. From a tractor factory born out of the rubble of war to a global symbol of speed, wealth, rebellion. Lamborghini didn't just join the supercar club, it kicked the door down, threw a party and changed the rules forever. It proved that sometimes the greatest creations are born not from careful planning, but from pure, unadulterated passion. And of course from a really, really good argument. For that, Mr. Ferrari, we thank you. You have no idea what you started.